Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Toon Review for tonight's show, which, of course, we are previewing the Manchester City versus Newcastle United Carabao Cup Semi-Final second leg as we face a mountain to climb. 2-0 down. Can we get back in the game? Can we get back to Wembley? I mean, who the hell knows? But I am joined tonight by... Well, for 40-odd minutes, we've got Stato, and for the duration, it'll be me and, of course, Lady Sam. Good evening, guys.
Oh, am I doing it? Sorry, I'm out of practice. She's rusty. I got some grace folk. Good evening to everybody and all the wonderful, stupendous, marvellous, magnificent viewers out there in Viewerland.
There you go. Billy is with the nurses tonight, so Billy is a very tired man after doing yesterday. As many people thought he'd fallen asleep a copious amount of times during the stream yesterday. But we do have a total that was raised, it's around the amount. So I will wait till obviously everybody's in and we'll reveal that to everybody tonight live on the show. It was a fantastic day yesterday. When it came to the actual stream itself, it was a good laugh. It was brilliant. Obviously nothing happening football wise, as we have kind of become accustomed to on deadline day. But we somehow put an 8.5 hour show together for you. It went down in tone a little bit once Sam came on and got together with Billy, as you'd probably expect. But it was a good laugh. It really was. And thank you to everybody for all their donations and just being with us for nearly all of the day. There was 1,500 to 2,500 people in most of the day, which was pretty incredible. So thank you very much for that. I feel like a zombie today. It took it out of me yesterday, I must admit, but it always does. It takes it out of us. We're all, especially with having the illness and things like that. It's hard work, but it's what the causes are for. You know, that's why we do it. And like Billy said yesterday, we love what we're doing as well. We love doing it, no matter how hard it is. Sitting in front of a camera for all that time, we really enjoy it, and it's a good laugh. You guys with your tattoos and your everything else, it was fantastic. That. It was brilliant. It was brilliant. To the point where
picking one, Alex.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Sam. Yeah.
I didn't hear what you said.
Did you end up picking a tattoo? Is it booked?
I actually did. I've got a really good one for inspiration. It's not going to be the exact one, but I really liked it. Yeah, there was a good one that was sent in with really, really detailed, lifelike.
Sam, grab my chin because it's about to hit the floor. It's hitting the floor. Holy Moses!
I know what I want vibe-wise now. It's somebody posted something that was really good, so I'm going to use that as my foundation and then get some more designs off it.
Well, I saw a couple of very nice ones. Obviously, a Newcastle one and a vampiric one, or whatever you say. So I am pretty much.
That looks like Alex. You want Alex tattooed on you?
No, but no. But you know the one of Billy. Keep your eyes peeled because that may be a T-shirt coming in the merch store with that design. A few people did actually message me to say, is it possible to get that done as a T-shirt? It may well happen. So, I mean, Billy thinks that nobody would buy something like that. I think the viewers, Billy's got a lot of big fans out there, and I think it would be absolutely... no, Tom, your gallant vampire was not anything that's gone in the bin, to be fair. Because
Mason's getting it tattooed on his arse. Fantastic.
I thought Mason's a big fan of Paul Gallant. Yeah, I could imagine Mason doing something like that. Anyway, if you do enjoy the show tonight, folks, don't forget to keep smashing that like button. And, of course, subscribe to the Toon Review channel. We are pushing and trying to get closer to 50k. It's a real target of ours, and then further on after that, actually. And, of course, you can become a member of the Toon Review if you do so wish by clicking the join button underneath us. and super chats are available. That's the $ at the bottom of the live chat, which will guarantee your comment to be read out on the show. And we've already had one, a £50 super chat from Ronald. Sorry, I forgot yesterday. I had other things on.
Good.
You've made up for it, though, matey, without a shadow of a doubt. Now, before we talk, well, it is kind of to do with Manchester City, of course, as Eddie Howe met the media today for the 50th time this month. And, of course, he was questioned on Sandro Tonali, which the Sandro Tonali thing, I did it in an earlier video, of course, earlier on today with what was said. If you need recap, and it came back out, obviously, yesterday morning that Arsenal were going to make a late push for Sandro. I found that bizarre. It was quickly poo-pooed by all the Northeastern media, and nothing from Newcastle United, nothing from Arsenal. I don't think Arsenal had a clue about it either, to be honest, with what they've said. But then it went quiet, and then later on the day, it resurfaced again. This time saying that it was Tonali's agent that had put his name out there that was trying to push for another club. Tonali's agent then came out and said, that's bullshit as well. However, they will look at the situation from March onwards as to what the player wants to do. Now, I took that as, yeah, he's still fucking off at the end of the season, pretty much. Now, obviously, Eddie was asked about the situation, and he doesn't want another Isak saga all over again with regards to Tonali. And Eddie then mentioned that things have changed now. Obviously, Ross Wilson's in place. We've got Hopkinson there, who doesn't, but more so Ross Wilson. There wasn't a director of football in last summer. So there is measures in place to make sure that that kind of thing does not happen again. Would that make you confident, Alex, that something like that wouldn't happen again because we've now got a director of football in?
No, I think that press conference was a car crash, an absolute car crash. The journalists did a fantastic job today.
They did,
and
yeah.
The first time in a long time, 90% of them asked great questions.
You could tell, couldn't you? Because Eddie was. How many questions were asked today, Alex? Eddie went, "Oof." He really had to think about what he was going to say.
So, to answer the question specifically about Ross Wilson, he answered a load of questions about transfers without mentioning Ross Wilson's name a single time in the first half of the press conference, and said we couldn't sign anybody, we didn't have the money. But we did have the money, but it wasn't the right player for the right price. But we didn't have the money, but we did have the money, but we didn't have the money. Just backwards and forwards with the same nonsense.
And they were restricted by PSR.
Yeah, but let's not forget, Ross Wilson stated at the Stack event that there was money to spend. So that's a contradiction of the press conference of what Eddie's just said.
Yeah.
And then he rounded it off by saying, just talking about generally how important Ross Wilson is. He's been helping with transfers. What transfers, Eddie?
Well, funny enough, I've just watched Keith Downey's video. Keith Downey did a video after the press conference. He just said exactly what you said there, Alex. That
it was a car crash.
He's dealing with transfers, and then Keith Downey's going, well, there was no transfers. But he did. I mean, Sammy did mention earlier yesterday or after the Liverpool game that people were working on transfers, but he thought that might be probably for the summer. But it, as Alex said, I mean, I don't know whether you've seen the press conference, Sam, but it was a car crash, and finally, brilliant from all the journalists today, because they did put Eddie on the spot and wanted answers.
I think it was really interesting to see Eddie against the ropes. I think he's always been this, calming influence, certainly somebody that everybody can be proud of, like speaking in a conference about the team, about the lads, about the club in general. But this was certainly the first time I've really noticed a shift in that. And you picked it up already, Paul, but the pauses between answering, he was really challenged today. And to Alex's point, the real questions that the fans want to hear about, the journalists have started asking them now, which is great and really, really helpful. Praro down there is absolutely right, because there was so much contradictory stuff that was being spilled out of his mouth. Could this be some type of undoing because he hasn't had this type of challenge before?
Yeah.
Perhaps. In regards to he's helping on transfers, definitely pointed towards the summer window. There is money, there isn't money. I would assume that there's definitely money, but of course all clubs have to be careful because of PSR reasons. So I thought that was a bit of a get out of jail free card, if I'm perfectly honest with you.
Well, it has been for a while now, to be honest, guys, hasn't it?
Really
The PSR excuse, he says it every time. And he said it multiple times in the press conference today that it's we are under severe restrictions. We're restricted. I don't know how many times he said restricted, which I think the journalists themselves are now very baffled as to what's going on, because they've spoken to financial experts who have all said that obviously, yes, they spent a lot of money in the summer, but Eddie or Newcastle United don't seem to realise that at the moment, sitting here now doing this show, most of our transfers in the summer have been dreadful. It was a car crash of the summer when it comes to bringing players in, and the money we had to spend. Keith mentioned it earlier on in his video. We did originally try and get, was it Wissa for 25, 30 million, and we end up paying 50 odd. It is a car crash of a summer, and I think a lot of people are now fed up with hearing PSR and financial restrictions. Yes, there is obviously restrictions there, no doubt about that, but nobody's looking back to the poor spending in the summer. It was dreadful when we look at it now and where we sit. We're sitting 11th in the Premier League now after Sunderland's win last night, and we just don't look like challenging at the moment. However, for anywhere near.
If I just can have a point on that. So yep. I think that summer window certainly was one of the most challenging I've ever experienced. Really, the cat amongst the pigeons stuff, and we'll not get into that. Severely inflated prices right across the board. Absolutely, we could have got Wissa a lot cheaper. He's looking like the cheaper version of himself at the moment as well, which adds insult to injury. I think what really upsets me is that, we've seen from our neighbours, we don't have to go out and break the bank. We can actually spend frugally and get players who are desperate to perform, who can do a really good job for us. We haven't displayed that we have the capability to actually look further than our front door being the UK, which needs to shift. It really needs to change.
Yeah, I have a real issue with that specifically, with Eddie Howe constantly stating that we can't match others in the transfer window, which is true to some degree, but he never gets challenged on the fact that he has a very limited recruitment model. He's unwilling to loan players in. He's unwilling to tap into the free agent market. He's unwilling to try and sign people up on pre-contract agreements. He's unwilling to tap into South America or try and compete for signatures. He's unwilling to throw 10 or 15 mil at a project like a Will or Sulla. It's very rare we do that. And you can't then moan excessively. And the frugality of it is nonsense, because he's implying that they've been really careful. Well, we've overpaid probably 20 to 30 for Wissa, 20 to 30 for Voltemada, 20 to 30 for Anthony Elanga. So that's an overpayment of 70 odd million in a window. And then he goes, there's no value to be had in January. What are you talking about? There's no value to be had in the summer, the way that you're recruiting. The only thing that we got right, I think, in a really good transfer was Malik Chow. Because it was a diligent, patient pickup of somebody we've been scouting for years. Wasn't picked up by other people, and we decided to roll the dice and trust him because we profiled him well. But everything else is just, I feel like he's using arguments to defend himself that are paper thin at this point.
Well, look, I mean, he is pinning himself into a corner, and the club are to a degree themselves, because we're not hearing anything from the club. Where you look back to, again, reiterate Amanda's days, and everything was passed on to the fans, and we felt we were in a good place. Now there's very, very closed doors again. And I just don't get it. I just do not get how we did not strengthen that squad in this window. You look at, even as much as I hate to say it, Sunderland down the road, like you mentioned, Sam, they've gone out and spent money diligently and brought in some very good players. I mean, they looked excellent last night against. I know they were only playing Burnley, don't get me wrong. But when we've played Burnley, to what I saw last night, Sunderland's performance was streets ahead of what we did against Burnley. Miles ahead. And we struggled. We struggled past Burnley. And you look at some of their new sides. Yes, they brought a lot in, but the manager's got them playing. You look at other clubs around the country who are bringing players in. It's working for them. Why not us? And nobody is. It doesn't seem to. Nobody seems to realise
the gotcha he got though today. It was. I can't remember who said it, so apologies, whichever journalist said this. But he was saying that there wasn't anybody sort of valuable and as good enough value to strengthen the defensive line despite the injury crisis, and we couldn't risk letting anybody go. And then somebody went, "But you just sold Jamal Lascelles and you won't recall Matt Targett." And he went,
yeah, he was completely
I've got to respect the player's wishes." And
that's that got me as well. It's like, well, yes, but the players, you have to respect the players' wishes. It's not just what the club wants. Well, hang on, who plays the fucking wages to these players? We do. It's not up the players. If we wanted to, it doesn't make anything that's coming out at the minute is just complete and utter bull rot. It is absolute bull rot. And he went on to talk about Tonali, by the way, to finish on Tonali. He said, he was asked the question, had he spoke to Sandro? And he said he had. And Sandro's in a very, very good place. He's enjoying his football. He loves playing for Newcastle United. He's focused on the here and now, and he's focused on the Manchester City game. But then I want to know, well, if that's the case, Eddie, why has his form dropped off a cliff? Why does he not look very happy? Also, you can throw out this homesick thing, because if he was homesick, then why are clubs in England mentioned with a potential move for him? There's no smoke without fire, right? I'm not saying he's not homesick, but if he is homesick, then you'd think, well, obviously a move back to Italy would suit him better. But the clubs he's been linked with at the moment are very much the top clubs in England. So I'm not bowing down to this homesick shit. I think he's just not very happy for whatever reason, that maybe the tactics or he just doesn't see the plan that he was sold when he originally joined, just like a lot of the other players. Tino Livramento won't discuss a new contract. Why? Because he wants to see where we are, where this progress is, and where the project is going. And he knows fine well that Pep Guardiola is a massive fan of him. So he could then decide, right, Newcastle United not going to be in Europe at all next season. He could just sod off to Manchester City, where he knows he's got a massive chance of winning not just European stuff, but domestic silverware as well on a regular basis. And that's going to be the fact for a lot of our better players. And he was talking about Tonali, saying that, there's no doubt that somebody of Tonali's abilities and some of the other squad are going to get linked with other moves because they're such good players, but we want to keep them. Well, if you want to keep them, we need to be at the right end of the table and in the right competitions to keep these players happy. So, the thing is, Alex, you're a player at Newcastle. You've been sold a project, right? And then how many times do hypothetically, right? God forbid, but, you're sitting as a Newcastle United player, sold a project and then you hear Hopkinson coming out saying we want to be one of the world's best clubs in 5 years and all of this. And then you're sitting through yet another transfer window and the squad doesn't strengthen. What are you supposed to think as a player of where this club is going?
So I have long said this, and not for a while have I referenced this, but I think we really need to do more in terms of player liaison and some ambassadors as an entire department within the club, in terms of when a player joins, they have everything taken care of. And I'm sure they have that to some degree currently, with setting up for language tutors, take care of setting things up with the council and how things work. But I mean, we need to 10x that, like, massively. We need to make sure that there's an entire package for when we're trying to attract a player, as to the short-term, the long-term vision, that we've got structure, stability. This is the route to the first team. This is the potential, the development potential. These are the legends. This is what you're going to get. This is the PR stuff, brand development. Where is all of that? That needs to be on a shiny platter to go, here you go. Here's all the legends and people that have won stuff, and here's what you can have. And we've done it in parts, and we seem to do it occasionally when it's needed. But we're really falling short of selling the dream in comparison to some other clubs, because in all honesty, we lost out on a lot of signatures to rival clubs during the summer, especially Chelsea, which baffles me. It really baffles me.
But they complain about wage budgets as well, Alex. Yet they're still giving extensions to like John Ruddy and fucking your mate Gillespie.
We need to lean into what we've got going for us, which is not being able to match their wage packet. We have to lean into the other side, which is selling the dream, because that is what we've got as a strength, and we're not leaning into that enough. And it's the only card we've got. If we say, look, you're going to get 80 grand less with us, or 100 grand less with us a week, but you're going to be the guy. You're not going to be on an 8-year contract who might end up rotting, and you'll just be one of the other voices at Stamford Bridge. You'll be a big time player and loved by a city. We need to sell that more, and we just don't.
Sam, the problem we got is you look at some of the players and stalling on contract talks. They're clearly waiting to see what happens with the club. But when you're going through another transfer month and we don't bring in a single player, and then we're talking about possibly bringing Matt Targett back. I mean, you know what I expected yesterday? Matt Targett to come back, and then he'd sit there and go, he'd be like a new signing.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have surprised me.
I get you. I hear you. And to be honest, I couldn't agree more with Alex. Our currency is our fan base. We can't offer wages. What we offer is legendary status in a town in a city that will absolutely adore you while you play for us and after. That's what we offer. And Alex is right. We don't lean into that. The package that we have, security concerns for break-ins. We have a list of recommended suppliers that will keep your family safe. These are areas you should consider living in, but for the meantime, we can house you here. I think what concerns me is that as a fan base, since Amanda left, we don't get any communications. So I'm intrigued what level of communications the players actually get, because now we've actually seen this play out. When people don't get great communication, they want to wait and see what happens with their own eyes, because they've either been lied to because things haven't actually materialized and happened, or they need to actually see the evidence of it. Now, that tells me that they're not getting regular updates. They're not getting the communication. They're not getting that, white glove service. We've got to be able to compete, like Alex says. And right now we're not. And if you compound that with the performances that we've had, none of those lads want to be losers. And right now it ain't clicking. It's not working. And they have choices to make. I don't blame them.
The thing that when you look at everybody who, when you talk about Eddie Howe, you talk about the form, and you're worried about where we are this season, and anyone that comes back at you, right, and says, oh, yeah, but look what Eddie's done, and why are you having to go at Eddie? Because he's brought us Champions League football, he's brought us a domestic trophy. Fine, that's all in the past now. And a million times, this just proves football does not stand still. And some people can't look into the future and see, if we finish mid-table or something like that outside of Europe, that's a big fucking mess for Newcastle United, right? It's a huge mess. And it's not where PIF would have wanted to finish. No chance in hell, right? Would they have expected to finish mid-table? Spending all that money in the summer, seeing how they're performing on the pitch, there's just no way.
Yeah.
And that's the worry for me, is the future couple of years, because I am in no doubt that players will want to move on. If the Man Cities and the Liverpools and the Arsenals or whatever, or other clubs around Europe come in for our superstar players, they're going to go, because they're going to want to win silverware. They're going to want to be at the pinnacle of football, wherever that may be. And we can't offer that. So when people say, oh, but look what he's done, fine, he's a legend and he always will be a legend for that. But at this moment in time, the future is not looking bright if we don't get into Europe where we expect to be. It just doesn't. And that's my concern, is where do we go in the future? Because if we start losing players, trying to regroup and where's the pull for the other players to come in? No European football. Where is the pull for the better, more elite players? We're fighting a battle again. We're going 2 steps back and trying to do it all again, what we've done since the takeover. It's going to be so difficult to do if we don't get the football that these players were promised when they signed.
There'll be some PR come out in the next 2 weeks. There's got to be, because at the moment, it's not just Eddie and the team. It's stadium, ? Training ground, ? Training ground sponsor, ? Training kit sponsor, ? Eddie kept saying, "Oh, we've been active in 1 window out of the last 4. It could be 5. I can't remember the number." That's ridiculous. And the list goes on and on and on. So if we don't beat Man City, which we probably won't, we're going to need some positive PR. So don't be surprised if we get some sexy YouTube videos in the next 2 weeks about some fantastic thing that the club are doing.
It'll be merch. Alex, it'll be merch.
Oh, yeah, it'll go back there.
It will be. It'll be something.
Starting to really piss me off, because I will get my hands on any piece of Toon merch that I can. I love it. I love a top. I love a training kit, whatever. Great. But right now, I'm like, do you know what? I need something back as a fan at the minute. You try and shove a new shirt or something down my throat, I'm going to be pissed off with that. It costs.
You wait for it. Valentine's Day merch. There will be something. Put a pin in this, guys. Over the next 2 to 3 weeks, something's going to drop. They're going to try and spin something positively.
Divert the attention away.
They're going to have to.
Look over here.
Yeah, but look at today. The Champions League tickets prices came out for the Carabao game. They put the prices up.
Have they really?
Why?
Yeah. Well, exactly. The prices have gone up.
The group games, you mean? Yep.
The prices have gone up, right? And because I got the email today as well saying that my my Champions League ticket price, you know how they take it before, a couple of weeks before, is due to come out. It's gone up. There's nothing from the club explaining why those prices have gone up. And this is the thing that's going to start pissing a lot of fans off, is the fact that they bring merch out all the time. Every few weeks, like you say, Alex, they bring merch out, and that will divert the crowd, divert the fans' attention. Yeah, but they'll do it. And but they'll do that to get more revenue in. And let's face it, this stuff is not fucking cheap, by the way. You know, the top I'm wearing was 80 quid. It's not fucking cheap. And then they put the prices up for the Champions League tickets and don't even explain why. And then we don't get any players. There's no players coming in the door. It's going to piss people off, dramatically piss people off, because the club have got to come out and say, well, this is why we put the prices up for Valentine's Day, for the Champions League game. You know, this.
I mean, it is on Valentine's Day. We are playing on the 14th.
We are, yeah. But there's no explanation in my email as to why my Champions League ticket has gone up in price from the group stages. And let's be honest, it's not fucking Barcelona. It's handbag from Azerbaijan. You know, it's really disgusting, because there's no communication from the football club as to why this has happened, and it's pissing me off.
Apologies to the
tickets for the group games, they're now around £20 higher.
20 quid.
It's fucking ridiculous.
What a bump.
It's terrible. It is. Anyway, we've got a few super chats to get through, guys. Ricky says, I must say, Paul, that was the most enjoyable live stream to date. Awesome work, all of you. Thank you very much, Ricky. Tanganyika says, was Mitchell right when he said our transfer model wasn't fit for purpose? Well, that's been mentioned a few times. Of course he's right.
I got crucified for backing Mitchell, and now it's starting to come out that
you did, yeah.
Was it Mitchell?
Yeah. I mean, you get crucified a lot, but that was a good point you made, Alex. Dan says, evening all, I'm in Newcastle the 20th to the 22nd of this month. Is anyone about? It'd be great to put names to faces and share a pint. We'll get it in the Facebook group and stuff like that, Dan. I'm sure that people will be around. There's always people around in the Toon. All financial experts are saying we have loads of headroom, and surprised we didn't spend. Got a feeling either Wilson or Howe will be off in the summer. I mean, Borson's the one I listen to a lot, because obviously he used to work for Manchester City as well, and he knows his financial shit, Stefan Borson. And he came out well before the transfer window to say he expected Newcastle United to be active because he wasn't the only one, but he also said there is money there to spend. And now we're just getting...
He also predicted us... He said that we're going to fail our squad cost ratio the wage to revenue ratio, that we're going to fail that. And the Deloitte table says that we're on 68% instead of 70%.
But when he said it, Alex, we were slightly over. We were slightly over the 70% when he did come out with that. So it has changed a little bit.
Just published that and say we're at 68.
Yeah, but when he originally said that quote was quite a while back. So we don't know. But either way, there's not just him. All the financial football experts are saying that they expected Newcastle United to be active in the window because there was money there. There's questions there that need answering.
But
and
this is
why all this merch?
Earlier point, we were talking earlier. I personally think they want to go really big in the summer, like get the transfers right, but spend a lot of money on it. But what Alex was mentioning earlier, does that mean that we can't actually bring some loans in to actually help depth and strengthen? No. And it probably wouldn't work anyway because the amount of time it takes to actually get somebody embedded into the team.
Way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we were not expecting this last summer.
As an excuse.
We were expecting big players last summer. And we were in the Champions League.
We had an outgoing that we weren't expecting.
Yes, Alex, I know that. But this summer's going to be different because if they're expecting a war chest in the summer, the players that we have to identify may be very different to the ones that we tried for this summer because we might not be in Europe at all.
We're going to have exactly the same issue as we've just had, except we might not have Champions League football. In that one of, and we were talking about this yesterday, Gordon or Sandro or Tino, there's the expectation, or at least the worry, that one of them is going to get bought. So people are going to go for one of them at least. And then we're going to have to completely U-turn on our summer strategy to go and fill that hole, which is exactly what we've just had to do with Isak. We've had to rip up the playbook and go, oh, God, okay, we can't buy somebody to challenge Isak. We've now got to completely replace the output, which is at an elite level, and then try and plug the rest of the holes that we were originally planning to do. And it all just was ridiculous.
If we don't get Europe, I fear for the summer. I really do. Great stream yesterday. Would you ever team up with charities that directly help people like those feeding families in Gaza or feeding sick kids in Sudan?
The charities we support directly help people.
Yeah, exactly.
I would challenge that all day long.
There is a lot of charities that deal with that side of things with Gaza and Sudan and Africa in general.
We've gone for charities that are more personal to us at the channel is where we've gone for.
Absolutely. James says, did Alice get the water ball? Not yet. Sitting, I'm looking at it now.
Oh, I don't.
And never you mind laughing, Sam, because I still haven't got the fucking award yet.
Where's my water bottle?
A member donated that. A member won it in the prize draw, and then said, "Give it to Alex."
Socks. Like the pug socks that were meant
Let's
to come
move
my
on.
way.
We'll move. Alan, member for 25 months this evening. Paul, Alex, and Lady Sam, well done for yesterday. We need to invest in the summer, but also the club need to get more sponsorship deals. Chip is saying, why did we turn down 20 million for Willock if Eddie is mourning about PSR?
Because Miley can't bend his leg and Bruno is, I don't know.
Bruno's still out tomorrow, apparently, as well, yeah. Sorry, Eddie has torpedoed this club. Get him gone. Naked Noise Boy, member for 2 months, says, I think the new shirt looks like it's been run over by a mobility scooter. Sorry, Paul, I want stripes, not skid marks from Granny.
Oh, can I add something to the list that we've not talked about over the last 2 days? Because I was going to mention it yesterday and I forgot, and it's quite relevant, is Mr. Bunce. Because we brought him in specifically about injuries, right? And we don't seem to have stopped playing players who shouldn't be on the pitch, i.e. Bruno and Byrne, in the last literally 4 weeks. And we keep returning players back to the matchday squad and putting them on the bench when they, and I'm quoting, cannot bend their leg, Eddie. What are we doing? How are they passing matchday fitness tests? And what's the point in Bunce if he's being paid to just turn a blind eye to Eddie going, oh, this lad can't walk, but we're going to put him on the bench for whatever reason? I don't understand that personally. If there is a reason that I'm missing, I will apologise and back down. But I find that mental. I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, but conversely, how bad could the injuries have been without him? We don't know. No, we can't ever answer that question. But I'm just being a prick.
But I thought his role wasn't to. He's not a doctor. He's not going to rub them better with a magic sponge. I thought his role was to advise and try and supersede the manager and say, look, this guy needs 2 weeks. You can't put him in the squad. I thought it was to try and challenge that, like administratively. I didn't think it. Maybe I'm misunderstanding his role.
I mean, look at Willock the other night. You could see off the side of the screen that Willock clearly had an injury and needed to come off, and the poor lad's still running about and like on the pitch for 10 minutes. Like, surely that's...
It was disgraceful. But, Dan Burn coming on with a punctured fucking lung. How on earth was he allowed to... It was clear that he broke a rib. Anybody looking at that would know that he'd broken a rib, and he was in terrible pain, yet they let him come back onto the pitch. That should never be... Whether it was for 2 minutes or 30 seconds, it doesn't matter. He should not have been let back on that pitch with a punctured lung and a broken rib. It's ridiculous. Anyway...
The team-sided pitch, I just need to say this, having care for our players, and I know the debate around Botman on his injuries was very, very similar. Like, we have to go with what the player thinks and feels at the same time. I would say to a degree, but the final decision is for the best needs of the player and the club. That's not doing that. That's allowing a deeper injury to happen.
Which is the same about these people that are screaming about how wonderful Eddie Howe is. They're not seeing the bigger picture. They're thinking of Eddie Howe more than Newcastle United right now, and where the club will be in the summer.
Much. I just really think that we are acting like, well, those individuals are acting like Eddie Howe, picking favourites and choosing an individual over the club.
Yep. Right. Before we take a look at, because I know Stato's got to go, so I want to try and put a team together for Manchester City, and then me and Sam will talk about the game in the remainder of the show. But I want to give you all the total for yesterday. Now, these guys don't know what the total was either. So this, now, £5,025 was the total to beat from last year. That was the total we raised in a shorter amount of time than we did in previous windows when we've live streamed for 12 hours. So 4 hours less, and we beat the total, and it obviously was 4 hours less again yesterday. So 5,025 was the total to beat yesterday, and this is an estimated total, but it's around. It's correct. Hang on a minute. Here we go. Yesterday, you, the fantastic viewers of the Toon Review, raised £5,760.56. Wow. Absolutely outstanding, guys. Nearly 6,000, nearly £6,000. In fact, I may well put in and make it up to 6. So £6,000. Let's just call it 6. We'll call it 6. I'll make a donation and put it up to 6. So there you go. £6,000. That is incredible. Absolutely fucking awesome. And just this community that we have built on here is just sensational. It really is. To do that in 8 hours on this poxy little YouTube channel is simply unbelievable. You guys, it's all down to you, not us. It's all down to you guys. We sit in front of a camera for all those hours and bring you some entertainment, but you guys, especially in January, it's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. So, I'll put the rest of the 240 in and make it up to 6, and there you go. So that is an astounding amount of money in the 8 hours that we were on air. And if it wasn't for you guys, there wouldn't be a channel, never mind raising money for charity like that. That is sensational. So thank you to each and every one of you. Whatever you donated yesterday or just simply viewed or anything like that, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. That is simply incredible. So yeah, there you go. So proud. Sam's getting emotional. It's unbelievable. It really is.
The generosity of The
Yeah.
people who follow this club, who follow this channel, it's just within us all. So good. Thank you.
It's unbelievable. What a community. I'm lost for words at times at how incredible this community is. It's astonishing. It's astonishing. It really is. So thank you for that. Right. Let's have a look at tomorrow then, because we do have a game of football to play. And it is, of course, Manchester City at the Etihad. So
before we start, Jamal Lascelles is going to have to get removed forever from the ball.
Here he goes. Bye, Jamal.
Thank you, Big Jam, our club captain for 12 years, and 253 appearances.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's gone.
He's gone. There you go. Now, we did do a piece on Jamal yesterday and said we spoke about him as well. If you're wondering why we haven't spoke about him much tonight, it's because we did a big piece on him yesterday in the stream and wished him all the best as well, which, of course, I think every Newcastle fan will do. Right. Okay, so for the reminder that Stato is going to be here, we'll try and put a team together for tomorrow night because Eddie, he says he wants to win.
Is he going to let Ramsdale play? Probably not.
Do you think? Do you think? I mean, Ramsdale's...
No, I wouldn't imagine so. He might do.
Possibly.
Defenders.
I think he'll keep Pope.
Yeah, so do I. Defender-wise, it's Burn or Botman is pretty much the only question.
No. You see, with Botman being back, Alex, I think he'll go back to the formation from Paris.
We don't have enough players to do that.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
Okay, well, if someone gets injured, we are...
Can we just disagree and not sing it?
Buggered.
Well, if somebody gets injured tomorrow, we're screwed. If somebody gets injured tomorrow, we're screwed anyway, aren't we? Because the squad's threadbare.
If Botman sits down on the floor for more than 12 seconds, I'm going to die.
Yeah, but
our backup makeshift fullback in Miley can't even play. Like, but
he did say, Alex, after the Liverpool game, if Botman was fit, he'd have gone with the same formation. So why would he not do it at the Etihad?
Alex Murphy, my friend, you better be ready to play 5 different positions because you will be. Not all 5 of these are going to be able to play the game. Somebody will get a bump or they'll get. I agree.
Murphy's
going to have to come on at some point and do one of these roles if this is how we do it. I'd be shocked if that doesn't happen, unless trump card is Murphy at right back, right wing back, which is the only other option. Which he could do.
Right wing back. He could do. I'm not saying it's perfect, by the way, by a long shot, but he's got that option, which is why I'm thinking along the lines of what he said after the Liverpool game, if Botman was fit.
Right, so that means we're dropping a midfielder then, presumably, and we've got 3. So who are we ditching out of this? Because it won't be Sandro, it'll be Ramsey or Willock. Because we can't play that as a double pivot. That is asking for trouble.
No, but tonight those 3 played against Paris, did they not?
Yes, but I'm thinking of numbers, Paul.
Yes, I'm thinking of numbers as well, Alex, but we don't have numbers. We may as well just... I mean, Joe Willock's injured, isn't he? He's got a hamstring problem. I mean, Eddie didn't confirm that today, I presume that if he's come off with a hamstring injury, the likelihood of him playing tomorrow might be a bit of a push.
Agreed.
Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
Get out your comfort zone. Come on.
I don't like any of this. Right, all right, let's listen to Paul. And I'm confused.
Did you say that? Can we record that again?
Fuck off. Listen,
Willock's injured. Let's admit it. He needs
to... I don't think Willock will play.
A hamstring.
But who else is going to play?
Okay, well, I mean, if Willock's in the hospital, then that is the pivot, which is going to end up being that because Ramsey plays left. And then we need 3 up top, which is some variation of this, or maybe Barnes or Voltemada starts. Couldn't tell you.
Is anybody else feeling sick?
Yeah, a little bit.
We are on the ropes as a squad right now, guys. This is really bad. Like, for him to justify not being able to bring anybody that would be able to contribute, and also justify releasing Jamal and not bringing back Matt Target. Like, this is risky. If we have a really physical, like, next 2 or 3 games, oh my God.
Unless the towel's already in. The towel's already in.
Yeah, the towel might be in, but is there a chance he goes 4-4-2 tomorrow?
No.
No?
I mean, it's less straining on the use of the squad. It makes more sense for availability, yes, because we're quite top heavy at the moment. So in theory, it does also mean Byrne or Botman, one of them's got to sit out, and he doesn't like leaving his star pupil out. So if you want to go 4-4-2, I mean, Barnes and Gordon for their flaws in certain areas do tuck quite nicely into traditional left and right midfield. They contribute well defensively. And then we could do little and large up front. We could do the modern day Peter Crouch and Jermaine Defoe and see if we can get it to work. I don't think this will happen, but it's an option.
I mean, look at who we got on the bench. I mean, we are really this.
There's nobody.
Yeah,
there's nobody.
This. Why haven't we
don't have any
midfielders
at all?
There's
nobody.
How can
you? Tell you what, let me help you out.
Look at this fucking shite and think, yeah, we don't need to bring anybody in. Yeah, we're fine. I mean, I guess some of the kids are going to be on the bench tomorrow.
Hang on, we've got the kids. So Alfie Harrison was.
He can't even start for the under-21s.
Sanusi's on loan. Pivas is probably not. Sean Neve might make the bench. Leo Shahar might make the bench.
Yeah.
Johnny Emerson's a 20-year-old left winger who just doesn't play. They're goalkeepers. Salia's, I don't know, he's just not involved. Sung-Soo Park, is he on loan? No, he's playing for the academy. He's a left winger.
I'd start him tomorrow, funny enough. I would start some of the kids tomorrow.
Munda or Sam Alabi. Isn't he a midfielder, Sam Alabi? Didn't he have the Paul Pogba article written about him by the club? I think he did. Munda and Sam Alabi are the only two positionally that would make sense. You've got Charlie MacArthur's out on loan. Heffernan went or is out on loan. There's no one else. Joe White's gone. He's on loan. There's no one.
I would love to see Sung-Soo Park.
This is turning into a fucking counselling session.
Sung-Soo Park's a left winger though, Sam, and we've got loads of wingers. We don't need any more of them at the moment. We need defenders and midfielders.
How can they look the whole club as a whole yesterday and think, nah, we're all right?
Yeah.
We're perfectly fine. Don't worry. We've got plenty in the squad.
On the bench to make up the numbers.
Do you know what, Alex? You might laugh about that, but, Ruddy and Gillespie might be on the bench tomorrow. Just to make the fucking numbers up.
Right. So Alex and Jacob Murphy. Ramsdale is the main backup keeper. Will Ursula, possibly Dan Byrne, Anthony Alanga. I mean, we're not going with this. Eddie's probably not going to go with a 4-4-2, by the way. We're just spitballing.
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it.
How many subs do you get, guys? 9?
We'll need fucking 29. Never mind 9 tomorrow. Jesus Christ.
So, before we hit the 9, we've already got 2 academy players on the bench, and then it's probably going to... And I think he should bring Sam Alabi or Anthony Munda in, but he won't. He will probably bring Gillespie in and sit him on the bench already. So our bench is going to look something vaguely like this. Well, excluding the 4-4-2, because he's probably not going to do that.
I mean, Claire's right what she says here. It was reported that they are relaxed behind the scenes, and she's on the verge of a fucking stroke.
I don't know how you can be a coach or an analyst and look at this and be comfortable.
With the games coming up as well. I mean, we're 11th in the Premier League.
3 days after the Man City
and Brentford are playing fantastically well right now.
They're above us in the league.
Fucking hell. It just makes it even more angry, does it not, that we haven't brought anybody in? Can people not see the picture now? The blinkers removed and see the bigger picture. Butter my arse and fry a fucking steak on it. Seriously.
To be fair, though, I think Joe Willock might not be injured. So it's not as bad as that might seem. That's worst
I don't think he was asked, was he? He wasn't even asked about Joe Willock this morning. There wasn't any question to him about Joe.
Hang on. I want to check SofaScore because let me just pause my VPN. So I can't look at SofaScore.
you know what? I'd give Asula a start up front tomorrow, Alex.
Somebody's just said that in the chat, actually. Who was that?
Yeah, but
Robert
then we're playing the
Winch.
same game of why have we spent 120 million on 2 players, 125 million on 2 players to start the Sheffield United recruitment?
Because the fact of the matter is, Alex, I don't think anybody sees us turning this game around tomorrow. 2-0 down already. What gives anybody the way we've played recently domestically? What gives anybody the hope that we are turning a 2-0 scoreline around against Manchester City at the Etihad, by the way, where, I mean, we just don't turn up just like we don't against Liverpool at Anfield. Yeah. There's just, you've got to be realistic here.
SofaScore, I don't think, got the memo that Bruno's injured and Miley's injured. Yeah, SofaScore having a nightmare here.
Guys, look.
City side.
Yeah,
it's pretty terrifying.
Yeah, we'll take that off the screen because I'm shitting my pants already. But look, come on, let's be realistic. I mean, we don't want injuries for the Premier League or Champions League, I guess. So we want Asula, just get him some minutes tomorrow. Play him. Just play him, and just see what turns out. I mean, look, we can't afford any more injuries tomorrow, and we are royally fucked.
Well, we're going to have to start looking at, like James has just said in the chat, we're going to have to start having a look at people like Pivas because there's just nobody.
Yeah.
Alex, you've got to go, matey. Don't want you to be late for your shuttlecock session.
I might as well do the end.
Oh, well, we've actually got 8 minutes left of the show, Alex, but,
Or is it? Oh, we started a bit late. Oh, I'll disappear then. We've done our little graphics.
All right, buddy.
Oh,
I'll see you tomorrow for Match Day Live, everyone.
Yes. So Alex will be back for Match Day Live tomorrow. I mean, that did not make a good reading, Sam. If you're a Newcastle fan, looking at what on earth we're going to do tomorrow night. And look, you've got to be a realist about this. And I know there's some people out there who are so far away with the fucking fairies that they think miracles can happen and they won't see the bigger picture. That graphic there has told people what the bigger picture is, and the utter shite, shambolic Newcastle United backroom, whatever it is, that we haven't brought anybody in. Yeah. That surely proves it.
And I think for me that even if we did, by some miracle, every lad on the pitch has got a horseshoe up their arse and we've got the look of the green, I don't think we will come away with anything tomorrow. I think we'll have heads down, unfortunately, because that's the reality.
And this is the thing, Sam. If we get a Tonkin tomorrow, what's that going to do for the players' morale and confidence?
We're chipping away every single time we have a poor performance. We chip away. Every time that we're not convincing, cohesive as a team. The reasons become excuses and the excuses become paper thin, and we're all sort of seeing through it now. It's quite a scary time to actually look at the club and think, right, where are we going to be at the end of this season? I think tomorrow would have been extremely difficult regardless of the aggregate score. Since we've got the aggregate score, it's beyond an Everest.
The thing is, and Eddie's running out of, I guess, excuses, because I'm sick of fucking happy clappers coming at me and saying, Eddie wasn't backed. He wasn't backed. He spent 250 fucking million in the summer. So don't tell me that Eddie Howe wasn't backed. He's brought in failures. Right now, as we do this show, they are not performing, apart from Chow. 250 million quid. So get fucked with your crap about him not being backed, right? Because that is a load of shite. There's money there to spend this window. The squad is threadbare. We've just seen it on a graphic how threadbare it actually is. You cannot keep supporting whatever is going on. You just can't. You've got to be a realist and see the bigger picture here. Because Eddie's a legend, no doubt about it. But we're in the here and now. We're 11th in the Premier League. We're heading out of the Carabao Cup tomorrow. The likelihood is we'll be out of the FA Cup against Villa on the 14th, because nothing tells me we're going to win at Villa Park, especially with the squad we've got at the minute. Start seeing the bigger picture. And we want answers from this football club about what the fuck is going on. Because clearly, I don't know whether PIF, Sam, are holding the money back because there's going to be changes in the summer. But if they're turning around saying we're putting all our eggs in one basket for the summer transfer window, how are we going to bring players in if we finish mid-table? Where are these elite players going to come in from? Because if we go in for them and then suddenly a Champions League team or a European team comes in, where the fuck are they going to sign for Newcastle?
And just to sorry to make that even worse, who's to say that they want to sign with us because we can't pay the wages, we can't compete, Paul. So we've got this double-edged negative right now, which is a real issue. So to Alex's earlier point about we need to sell something else, we were selling the dream originally with Amanda. We're going to get this new training ground. We're going to be X, Y, and Z. We're going to do this. And she's so compelling. Like, we all backed it. And now we've got an issue where we can't offer the wages, and people know it. So we can't go in for that caliber of player. We need a better recruitment strategy. We need to recruit internationally, the unknowns, the people that, you know, some of the bigger clubs don't want or aren't monitoring. The likes of Chow, whatever we did there, I hope that we've got more of them in the pipeline. But we need to think more broadly about this because they aren't going to sign with us because of wages. If they're a big enough profile player, it doesn't matter how much we want to sign them for a club for. If somebody else comes in and wants them, they'll get them. So for me, I would rather look for lower key players who are more likely to join. What Eddie Howe is fantastic at is player development. Why haven't we tapped into that as a resource? I scratch my head in regards to this.
Yeah, it's baffling that. It is baffling.
Smaller price tag, more realistic that we get them, lower on the wage bill, and ceilings that we can hit with Eddie Howe. But we don't do that. It's not our model. Like, Mitchell is right. It was broken.
Yeah. But what's the point in going on about Eddie out now, wasting your breath and blood pressure? It's not going to happen. This isn't about Eddie Howe out, though. This is about the club and where the ambition, where is the ambition that we've seen from, you know, the chairman wanting to be number one. Remember this, point number one? And then David Hopkinson a few weeks ago telling us there's a 5-year plan to be number one. Well, I'm sorry, but we're not acting like that kind of club right now. And to see in a short period of time, a 5-year period, when this season we are chucking all of the progress that we've made, we'll be chucking it right down the drain. It doesn't matter about the cup finals. It doesn't matter about the Champions League, because if we fail and finish mid-table this season, we're not going to bring that elite player in. And if the only way we would even have a chance of bringing an elite player in, if we had someone at the club with a mighty good pull about them, who is a legend in football or thought of as the highest guy in football, to be able to bring these players in and talk them into coming to this football club. Because the way it stands right now, that ain't going to happen, because we're languishing in mid-table in the Premier League. Whether we think we should be better or not, that isn't the point. The point is, we've just seen how threadbare the squad is. We don't bring any reinforcements in. Yet we're seeing clubs who have just come into the Premier League this season making a right go of it, bringing some players in that didn't cost them that much money, but have been scouted well and are performing well. We, Newcastle United, we go out and overspend on at least 3 of the players that we brought in, possibly 4. So you have to see the bigger picture of where we could be. Now, this is hypothetical. It may not happen. We may turn it around and we may suddenly win some games and finish up in the top 6. I don't know. That's a big ask from where we are right now, to be fair, and the way we've played all season. Nothing is giving me indication, Sam, that we're going to go on a run of 6, 7, 8, 9 games of picking up wins and draws.
Well, that's why we look and analyze form and do player ratings, because it's actually based on a trajectory, not just of an individual, but as the team acting like a cohesive unit. Who has seen that at all this season? And to the earlier point about why waste your breath, you know, we like Eddie Howe out, like, what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about it because we've had an opportunity and we've had a transfer window where nothing's happened. We're talking about it because in every game we still see the issues, the lessons not being learned. Eddie o'clock substitutions, like for like, predictable subs. very predictable lineups. Anybody, Stevie Wonder could understand how we are going to play and line up. Granted, we're doing a few changes, but that's out of necessity, not out of tactics. You know, we're so rigid in terms of not making in-game decisions, and those lessons aren't being learned. I've got every right to question if Eddie Howe is the right man for the job. I'm sorry.
We do. We have every right to question whether Eddie's the right man for the job, whether, you know, what is going on behind the scenes with the ambition, where PIF want to be, you know, what is going on? Because, like I say, all this good work could seriously get undone, because we're going back not just one step, 2 steps if we don't get European football next season. At least 2 steps. Because you're not getting the European money in the door. You're relying on the fans yet again, and probably 1 million merchandise sales and stuff like that will come out again, trying to get us to put our hand in our pockets when we're not seeing the club do it. So,
and player churn. Don't forget player churn.
Player churn.
The players will leave.
Of course they will. If anybody's stupid enough to think that these elite, you know, our best players will not leave to go and play European football and win silverware, which is all that players want to do in football. If a Man City, Liverpool, or whoever it is, a European team comes in, don't tell me that these elite players we have are going to sit on their ass and go, nah, I'll just stay playing 1 game a week with Newcastle and know that they're not going to sign any elite players in the summer. We have to be at the right end of the table. It's massively important. You've got to see the future, not what's happened in the past. You've got to see what's now and ahead. Otherwise, there's no point. But anyway, let me know your score predictions in the chat, guys, for the Manchester City game tomorrow night. God help us all. I'll go through these super chats while you're doing that. I Like Coffee says, in the summer, we'll need a major overhaul. If our star and fringe players leave and there's no Champions League, we should stick to smart signing strategy that worked before. Trull says, we need a manager that does a plan A, B, C, and D and tells players what to do and don't ask them. Not a bad point. Rich, been supporting Newcastle for 30 years this year. Generally feels like manic depression, except without the highs. Sick of the inactivity, but how are the lads, as always? Indeed, we'll always support them. We'll always, you know, the game will start tomorrow and we'll be right behind them. Of course we will. We're fans. Dave Magpie says, I fear for Miley with this new knee injury, given our track record with these types of injuries with another player. Well, it does worry you when you see he couldn't bend it. Yet they put him on the bench. Michael with a super sticker. Thanks, Michael. Case Ball says, the clown will do the complete opposite. Hashtag how out. Dan says, anyone see Traore use Cucurella like a lawn dart? It was hilarious. Finally, somebody throwing him to the floor. To start Asula on the right, Korean kid on the left. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I wouldn't mind it at all, but I don't think he will. Peter Garthwaite says, anybody think it's strange Ross Wilson is saying we had money to spend and Eddie is tripping the same PSR shit? Well, we discussed that earlier on in the show. It doesn't make any sense. Mark says, I know we're struggling again, but I'm going to stay positive and be ballsy and go for a 3-1 win and go to extra time, as I think the lads will want to retain the cup.
Bloody hell, Mark.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, but they'll want that again. They'll want that feeling, just like we as fans do. Ian says we've had a threadbare squad for years and nothing has been done about it. No forward planning, it seems. Peter says Eddie wants Premier proven players. Well, the Premier proven players have worked magic for this season, haven't they? And Ricky says this is what you get for playing cloak and dagger. Lies and bullshit. We've been exposed as a shambles. Okay, now. By the way, the scores that are coming in. 4-0 City, 3-0 City. Oh, Vanders has gone 4-0 to Newcastle. Mervyn says 4-0 Man City. Wizard Broom says 3-2 City. Man City 3-0. City 5-0. 2-2. 4-0 City. City 4-0. Man City 6-0. Holy shit. 4-1 to Man City. Collux is going with his heart and saying 3-0 to the Toon, but his head says 4-0 to City. 3-1 to the Toon. I mean, look, you can see where these scores are going. And this is the problem, Sam. You know, this is the problem we've got, is if we take a Tonkin, what is it going to do to the players? You know, you lose the game 4 or 5 tomorrow, right? Which could potentially happen if we play as badly as we did in the second half at Liverpool. But even a 3 or a 2-0 defeat, and it's another defeat, trudging off without a win, and they've got to get back up for Brentford on Saturday, which is a really difficult game.
Yeah. And I feel like we're lacking a focal point. You know, I would be bemused if it was like, oh no, we're putting all our eggs in the Champions League basket here. Like, you know, the Prem is the bread and butter, and currently it's just the bread, and we're chipping away. We're chipping away at ego. We're chipping away at confidence. We've got so many injuries that we're not actually building up partnerships on the pitch either, which is making us, you know, less accurate in the box, which I think is fair. There are times when we play with vigor and intensity and we look really great, and we have shots on target, but we're not clinical enough at them. And that works great when you can continue with that method and intensity, but we don't have the players to switch out when they get tired to do that. So the method ain't working. The tactics aren't right for how we are playing. Like,
and I'll tell you something else, Sam, right? Man City will be strong tomorrow night because they haven't won a trophy in a while. They will want to go out and win and make sure they get to Wembley. So don't expect City to be putting a weakened side. I mean, even if they do, they're technically still stronger, but you know what I mean. But on the flip side, and this is a very, very, very flippish side, a long way away from what might happen, but you never know. It's Newcastle United. We may turn up tomorrow and come away as Carabao finalists. I'm just putting it out there. You just never know.
And that would be magic, but it ain't going to change my opinion about things.
No. But we can get
magic from individuals is what that'll take.
Yeah, we want the lads to perform tomorrow, and we want to do really well. Doku's not playing. This is a bonus. Gay's cup tied. However, they've still got a lot of talent. Yeah, Cherky.
Their bench is more convincing than our starting 11 currently, Paul. So,
yeah, I mean, it is frightening. But listen, we'll see what happens. We are back 7:30 tomorrow night. Match Day Live. Me, Billy, and Alex will take you through the game. I mean, what kind of game we're going to get, I don't know. Hope is all we have right now, folks. Hope is all we have. But people need to start waking up to the situation we're in, and I think hopefully that graphic of the squad will make people realise just what a shit show this has been at the minute, and the fact that we haven't strengthened the squad. I just fear for us. But listen, it is what it is. But we will be back at 7:30 tomorrow with an 8 o'clock kickoff, of course. If there's any news to bring you throughout the day, I will do a video, of course. So keep your notifications on. But thank you for all your contributions. Thank you to the mods and Lady Sam. And, of course, thank you to you guys out there. And don't forget, give the show a like before you leave. And, of course, subscribe to the Toon Review YouTube channel. And we will see you very soon. Good night.
Away the lads and lasses.
Come back and check out the breeze.